This is Gagan Girotra, IIT Roorkee class of 2000, and I am Calcutta class of 2005. Let's look at a Parajumbles exercise. So I have these 5 sentences here. I picked them from this source. Please pause this video, take a good look at these 5 sentences, and then let's come back to the discussion. Okay, so if you've read these 5 sentences, let's do the first step that we do, which is to summarize all of these sentences so that we have a better grip on what exactly is being said in each of these sentences. As you would notice that these are reasonably long sentences, especially the first, second, and third ones. So we'll just need to break them up, expose the core so that we get the flow in order. Okay, so first sentence says, Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi with their SP and Congress in an alliance that has reversed the history of suspicion between the two parties, also focused on Varanasi given its significance. Okay, so this part with their SP and Congress in alliance reverse the history of suspicion. This part is actually an add-on to the core sentence, which says, if I for now don't read this, I'll get the proper flow. AY and RG also focused on Varanasi given its significance. Right, so that's how I've summarized this sentence. I say that AY and RG reversed the history of suspicion between the two parties and did what? They focused on Varanasi. Why? Because it is significant in Eastern UP. Right. Second sentence. Ever since voting started in the state on February 11th, the three main political parties in the fray, the Bahujan Samaj Party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, and Samajwadi Party, threw everything into their respective bids for power, with the constant campaign of Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving the election a national resonance. Right. So, since voting started, the three main political parties, which are the BSP, BJP, SP, right? They bid for power. Okay, and what has happened is from here, with a constant campaign of Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving the election a national resonance. So PM gave this election a national resonance. Okay, so this is how we summarize the second sentence. Third sentence. Mr. Modi spent 3 days in and around Varanasi alone seeking to both retain the votes that accrued to him in Lok Sabha and throw his voice longer in the election's home stretch. Okay, so what has happened is that the Prime Minister has spent 3 days in and around Varanasi. So PM has spent 3 days in Varanasi. His Lok Sabha, it should be Lok Sabha constituency, right? To do what? To first thing, to retain the votes that accrued to him, right? So first thing that he did by staying longer is retain his votes, right? And second thing that he is doing is giving a longer voice in the home stretch. Now home stretch means the final stretch of the election. All right. Fourth sentence. The BSP's Mayawati, as always, was the least splashy, right? Staying away from the battleground and choosing to monitor everything from her base in Lucknow. So BSP's Mayawati stayed at her base away from the battleground. That's what this sentence summarizes into. And the fifth sentence, with the seventh and the last phase of voting for UP Assembly, a potentially transformative election draws to a close. So seventh phase, UP Assembly elections are closing. Okay, so now what we've done is we've summarized all of these 5 sentences. So you will notice that what we are talking about is the elections in UP. We are talking about the Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi staying in Varanasi. We are talking about PM staying in Varanasi, right? Now, if you notice here, what stands out is that the mention of Prime Minister has is done in the second and the third sentence, right? So we have Prime Minister and we have Mr. Modi, again the Prime Minister spending time in Varanasi. So there seems to be a strong link between the second and the third sentence, right? And because if you look here, the full name Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Mr. Modi, right? So the third sentence could not have been before the second sentence. So it looks like the second sentence is followed by the third sentence. Okay, so we found one link. All right. Then what we also see is that there is this mention of out of the three, right? So the second sentence mentions BSP, BJP, SP, right? So here we are talking about the SP and Congress together, right? And we are talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and we are talking about BSP here. So it looks like that this sentence, Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi, and BSP's Mayawati, these sentences are also possibly linked. Now there's another reason why they could be linked. The reason is that these two guys, they focused on Varanasi. Okay. In contrast, BSP's Mayawati has chosen to stay in Lucknow, right, away from Varanasi, right? So this is another potential link between these two sentences. Now this fifth sentence, it looks more like an introductory sentence. So if you notice that if I say a potentially with the seventh and last phase of voting for UP Assembly, a potentially transformative election draws to a close, right? And if you look at ever since voting started in the state on 11th February, there looks like the second sentence should be following the fifth sentence, and fifth sentence looks like an introductory sentence. So let's reorder these sentences. So as it stands right now, it looks like the fifth sentence is most likely the first sentence, right? Then the second sentence seems to follow the fifth sentence in the second place. And we mentioned that the second and the third sentence could potentially be linked. This could go in the third place. Then the first sentence, Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi, right? This sentence, they chose to stay, they focused on Varanasi. This looks like a good fourth sentence. Okay. And in contrast, the BSP's Mayawati chose to stay in Lucknow, right? So this looks like the fifth sentence, right? So if we were to put all of these in place, let's read out. With the seventh and the last phase of voting, a potentially transformative election draws to a close. Ever since voting started, makes sense, right? So it draws to a close, and then you're talking about ever since the election started, right? So good linkage. Then Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave the election a national resonance. Mr. Modi spent 3 days in Varanasi alone, right? And this Varanasi linkage can be found here also, that because he stayed in Varanasi, Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi also focused on Varanasi because this is significant. However, in contrast, BSP's Mayawati stayed away from the battleground and chose to stay in Lucknow. Hope this reordering is clear. Thanks for watching the video. You can give your feedback in the comments section below. Please click the like button if you thought the video was helpful. For lesson updates, you may subscribe to my YouTube channel People Plus, or you may read my blogs at peopleprep.com, or you can directly connect to us through our Facebook page @PeoplePlus, or you can email to me at gagan@peopleplus.com. Thank you.